Alright, I knew if I was going to review the movie Pain and Gain that I was going to have to bulk up for it. So, before watching this movie, before even reviewing this movie, I had to take a couple months to pump up and to buy it on DVD. What you guys think? Pumped up? Alright, cool, so let's review this movie. Pain and Gain. So Pain and Gain is a sort of dark comedy, directed by Michael Bay, and it stars Mark Wahlberg, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and some other guy. And this movie is basically about the actual real-life murder story of this case that happened many years ago about these couple of guys that kidnapped a rich man, tortured him for about a month or so until he signed away all of his assets to them, and they became rich and all that, and then they started investigating about him. Now I'm going to start off right away in saying that I actually enjoyed this movie. It was entertaining to a point, but I'm going to say this movie is pretty messed up in the fact that it is a comedy. The fact that this really happened, it's messed up. But for right now, I'm just going to say, you know what, let's look at it as if it really didn't happen just as a movie. As a movie, it's okay. There's nothing exactly special about it other than the fact that Michael Bay directed it, and it's got two actors that I really liked. Like, Mark Wahlberg and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson were really good in this movie. I felt like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was really good in the role. He was probably the best casting for this role. Mark Wahlberg, I felt like he was a crazy guy, though. And at times he felt like it looked like he was having fun with it. Like, he was definitely having fun with this character. And "The Rock" Johnson, man, he's a funny character in this movie. Stanley Tucci in the movie, I forgot he was good at being a douche since he had played the guy on Monk a lot. On Monk, he's really good, but he's different. In this one, he's a dick, but he's good at it. So I felt he was a good cast for it. Now, going along the plot of this movie, Mark Wahlberg and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson capture Tucci. They bring him over to this sex toy shop. Yeah, no joke, that's what it is. And then they torture him for about a month and a half or so. They torture him until he signs over the assets, and finally he's just like, okay, I do it. And that makes Mark Wahlberg and Dwayne Johnson rich as hell. Doing this, though, Tucci hires an investigator who I do not know who he's played as. I remembered him as I watched the movie today, but I cannot remember it now. Hires a guy to go investigate it and, bring them to justice. And the guy's like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. You look like something happened to you, so I might as well. Now I'm going to say along the lines that the second you start watching this movie, you know Bay directed it. I mean, you just know, okay? It's got the official Bay signature. It's got that weird sense of humor he tries to have. I mean, there was only one time in this movie where I actually laughed, and it was the scene where Dwayne Johnson is in the sex shop, and he's like, dude, what does your cousin or whatever own again? And he's looking at this sex toy, he's like, I know exactly what it is, and he's feeling it. It's like, but I like it. It's like, what? That got one chuckle out of me. I thought that was actually kind of funny. But everything else that they try to do that's really messed up, they try to make it funny. Not funny. I mean, there was this one scene I knew they were trying to make you laugh. I was like, it's not funny. And you know what? I don't even care. I'm going to spoil that scene for you right now. So, spoiler alert, here it comes. The scene that I'm talking about is when they murder two other people in the movie. Yeah, spoiler, they're going to murder two other people. And they have to get rid of them. So what do? They take them over to this chop shop, or take them to this warehouse, and they're going to chop them up with a chainsaw. Now, what they have to do is get rid of the hands. So they chop off the hands, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's burning and grilling their hands. And he's grilling them like on a grill. He's so high, he doesn't even care. He's just like, yeah, just grilling his fingers. And then the movie stops for like 1 second, and it brings up this text in the front. It's like, still based on a true story. I was like, really? You're really trying to make me laugh at this? I just didn't think it was funny or anything, I just feel like if this movie was like maybe a drama, or if it was a thriller or something, if it was taken a little more seriously, the movie would have been better, or maybe if they'd cast it different, but I don't know. Like, in terms of it trying to be a comedy, they did pick good actors for that. And, like I said, Mark Wahlberg and Johnson do good in the movie. But by the end of the day, you're just like, what was that? I'll tell you what it is. It was okay. That's all it was to me. A very okay movie. Entertaining to a point, but really messed up in its execution. Another weird thing about this movie is that everybody has voiceover in the movie. Like, everybody. Like, okay, you got Mark Wahlberg. He has his voiceover. Then Rock Johnson. Then this guy I've never seen another movie. Tucci has his thing. The investigator has his. It's weird. Like, I can understand if it was like the criminals, you know, the main three guys, they have their thing. I can understand that, but then Tucci has his alone. That would be fine. But there's 5 people having their own voiceovers, and it feels weird. Like, they shouldn't have that. One pretty funny thing, though, is one of the actors. I forget the name of this guy, but he played Mr. Chow in the Hangover movies. He's in this movie. He plays that It was that money handler dude who's on the guys like, you can be rich if you were just like me, you can be rich, you gotta believe. He's in the movie for a little bit, and he actually somehow, like, I guess that's their explanation in court or whatever. They explain that, like, this guy inspired us to take what we want, and he is the true message. And like, okay, well, that was actually a pretty funny cameo that he was, and it was cool to see him in the movie. Overall, Pain and Gain was an entertaining movie. It was kind of weird, a little bit too long. Maybe if it was like 10-15 minutes longer, shorter, it would have been better. But as it is, it's just okay. I mean, the fact that they turned it into a comedy is kind of weird, but whatever. It's the way this is, and probably not going to change it for a very long time. I think it's finally time that I did put a rating system on my movie reviews finally, and here is the rating for this movie. Pain and Gain is worth watching. At matinee, no snacks. Alright, thank you guys for watching my review of Pain and Gain, and I will see you guys on the next After the Show.